Hey guys, welcome. It's Leo from Ruby Lion, and today we have Mike Weissman with us from the Modern Teaist, and today we are going to review 4 types of loose leaf tea for you. We'll start with our first one, the Biluochuan from the Jiangsu province. Mike, if you would do the honors.
Sure. Should I use these?
Sure.
These guys?
So we'll brew 2 sets of pots, one for you guys to see what the tea will look like, the color and consistency, and then we'll brew the other one for drinking in the white teapot.
Do you ever brew by? Do you just go strictly by time, or do you ever go by color, or?
Usually we do grandpa style.
Oh, you just leave it in.
We just leave it in and just keep pouring hot water on top. But
Yeah, I generally, with green tea, prefer to have very little astringency. So I usually brew it with warm water instead of boiling water, and for quicker brewing times with a little more tea leaves than you think.
Okay.
But it's a personal preference.
It is.
You can still pick out all the flavors of each tea.
In fact, some of them don't actually come out until later steeps.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's yellowish in color, but not. It's still pretty clear. Like it's going to be a clean. I want to go right in and taste
let's
it
do
because
it. Let's do it.
it's not as light as you would think.
No,
it's actually pretty strong. Yeah, that doesn't taste bitter. That's sort of the. It's like a texture. Like it's like a sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah. I rather like it actually.
Okay.
I wonder what it's going to do on a second brew. Do you mind if we spend a little time and see what it does on a second
Not
one?
at all.
Throw some more water in there. So as the leaves kind of unfurl in here, I find it interesting.
You're going for having the leaf go back to as close to its natural state,
Right,
as
as
possible.
it sort of gets rehydrated after being dried.
Mm-hmm.
What I find interesting though is there's a lot of stem, so it's the leaf plus the stem, which is the way that they
Harvest.
harvest it, and that gives different flavors, and that might be part of why this has more of a
Because we're tasting the stem.
because you're tasting parts of the stem as well as the leaf.
Got
It's
it.
a really nice amount of each though. Yeah, the leaves in this are quite large and nice. They're it looks like they were rolled initially when we were dry, but they were actually almost folded. So it wasn't a ball tea, it was more of like the leaves were twisted and then rolled. And now you can see as they unfurl that they're long and thin, but they're starting to.
I mean, there's 2 whole
Yeah.
leaves,
Yeah.
shoots that are completely open at this point, which is fantastic. That means this is a really good quality tea.
So we're starting our second steep of this tea, the Biluochuan, and I'm interested to see what you think about this.
It's lost all of that tang from the first steep.
Exactly. It's very, very
Like this
different.
It changed completely.
It's sweeter. It's mellow. All of the harshness from that first steep is gone.
I mean, this is fantastic.
Yeah, this is the
taste
second
buds
steeper.
love
That's
this.
what I call teas that are better on the second steep than the first, in my opinion. I mean, some people might like the harsher taste, but so if you ever get this tea, try brewing it again instead of throwing it away. Usually with teas, I like to at least do 3 to 4 and see where the breaking point is for each steep.
What's a good indicator that it's finished?
You'll know because you'll pour the water in and you'll try it, and you won't have any flavor left.
Okay.
It'll just be really weak. But depending on the type of tea, it can go up to like 12, 16 steeps if you have a pu'er. That's, yeah. Some of the greens are maybe good for 3. It depends on how strong the tea is as well.
Now we're with the second tea, one of my personal favorites, the Banten Honey Oolong from the Banten Family Farms. This one I'm predicting is going to be incredibly light, sort of roasty, fruity flavor, erring on the sweet side, obviously, honey oolong, but something I think I would totally enjoy by itself, sweetened with lemon, pretty much in any combination you can think of. What are your takes on oolongs in general?
Oolongs are some of my favorite teas because I tend to lean towards lighter teas, and oolong was like as dark as I usually would go. But oolongs scan the gap, like they really go from super green and light to like almost like a black tea. So I've never had this one, so I'm super excited to try it.
You'll like it.
Yeah.
Oolongs are unique in that, like Mike said, they can cover any portion of the spectrum of tea. So if you do like greens like Mike does, you can find an oolong that's pretty close to it, but still gives you all of the hardiness of an oolong. If you're like myself, who likes black teas, then you can also find really dark roasted oolongs as well. It's this perfect blend of flavors that you can find. So no one oolong is really the same from another. So try them out, and then you'll eventually find the one that you like. But enough talking, let's get drinking. So what I love most about these kinds of oolongs is the sort of artistic process of the leaf unfurling. And you'll see these in blossoming teas or the teas of that kind of nature where the joy of drinking almost comes out of just watching it unfurl. Oolongs being tightly rolled into balls after roasting tend to still retain, kind of like the green tea, the original state of the leaf, but needs the hot water and time to unfurl.
Yeah, that's part of the ritual of making tea that I actually enjoy the most is watching the leaves unfurl, seeing how intact they are, and it's almost like I just can see all the flavor being extracted as it comes out, which is why a lot of the teaware that I sell on Modern Teaist is like a glass teapot, so you can actually see your tea, and the trays are. It just, the whole aesthetic of it is something that I really enjoy, even as much as the taste.
For sure. That is kind of the genius of these glass teapots that really only emerged, in the past couple decades? Not even. Everything was a lot more traditional, but now with this style, you get to see everything happen and taste it right afterwards.
Yeah, I think a benefit of the glass is it doesn't impact the flavor at all, whereas a clay teapot can actually impact the flavor in sometimes a great way, but sometimes not. So when you're tasting, sometimes glass or porcelain is a good way to go.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So the first steeping of the oolong is ready. We'll give it a taste. It's a complicated flavor.
It is a complicated flavor, but it's really nice. It's darker,
but smoother.
But smoother.
With black tea being, fully oxidized, crushed, tared, and curled, it's all about how quickly the tea can steep and how strong of a flavor you can get out in the shortest amount of time. With something like this, kind of like the green tea, it doesn't come out until a little bit later. You have to give it a little bit of time, have a little bit of patience, but it ultimately makes for a much more satisfying cup of tea. Cool. That was the oolong. We can start moving on to the next one, the Kanoka Assam from Assam, India. And we'll see how that one goes. And this is the one that I end up using in a lot of my blends. It's pretty balanced. It's just dark enough to be a good black tea, but not overpowering like a lot of other super highly oxidized black teas. What's your personal take on black tea? Even though you like green more.
Yeah, I mean, just in preference, I usually go towards green teas. or oolongs. I find black teas to be a little too intense usually. Sometimes they dry your mouth out as well, depending on the type. But a good quality black tea, I think, is... Actually, it's funny, I probably drink black tea about once a week.
Okay.
Because I find it's really good with certain foods, like breads and bagels, where it's like you get this nice contrast of like a light thing with like a deep dark tea. But usually, if I had a choice, I tend to go lighter.
Do you take your teas with anything, or do you just drink them plain?
I drink them plain.
Wow.
I try it, but I mean, I'm not against going with like a milk tea or something, like having like sugared with milk and honey. But I think a good tea can stand on its own. I think we did our teas in a great order, because it kind of keeps going darker and darker and darker, but it's still so mellow.
It has a story to tell. It's shifting flavors. It's deep and complex like the oolong, but in just a different way.
Yeah, it's actually quite nice. It's dark and rich, but not bitter.
No, I'm not puckering my lips.
Not at all. Like, it's almost sweet. And color-wise, this is like such a gorgeous tea. I mean, when you think tea, this is probably what you think. This color, this is like the staple.
This is that goldeny
Yep.
amber color that we've been stressing that it should kind of look like.
Right.
But
You can see here in the... And the leaves in this are just huge.
blacks are usually reserved for, you would say, like breakfast blends or things like that.
Yeah, that means a high caffeine content, so there's a lot of good reasons to drink it in the morning. It's invigorating.
Okay, we're on our last tea. We've made it, guys. This will be the moonshine green tea from Nepal. I've got
Is it white? I think it was white tea.
I think it's actually a blend of green and
green.
white,
Oh, interesting.
which is interesting too. It'll have the leafy air of green, but it'll have that really high, sweet tone of white.
Let's try it.
Okay. I feel like I need sweets or just something.
Yeah,
to like eat this
yeah.
with.
But it's not bad. You could drink it like this, like it. Yeah, I think because it's blended with the green, it makes it nice. It makes it kind of like
Nicer.
Nicer, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah. No. We got through all four.
We did 4. We have a bonus tea though.
Oh, really?
We have a bonus. And
Okay.
I would forego the second steep of this to try the bonus tea.
Okay. Let's do it. I'm excited.
Okay.
Okay. This bonus tea is a Jinshan soya from the Jiangsu province, and it looks to be really long but fine green tea tips.
Yeah, I've heard about this tea and I've seen it, and I think it does something really special when you brew it. To me, it always looked like little pea pods, like little snap peas.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to try this.
Okay, we'll see what happens. Okay, so enough time has probably passed. It still looks incredibly clean and clear. But I guess
It looks clean and clear, but this is the smell is like super strong in here. The aroma is like, it's like perfectly clear water, but it smells like fresh asparagus, which is a good thing. I say that as a good thing. That's what I was saying earlier about green teas that I enjoy, is like vegetal flavors. Leo's gonna hate this.
Have you had broccoli flavored tea? Yeah.
I tried making like tea out of vegetable hot. It wasn't good. There's a reason why tea is what it is, and hot vegetable water doesn't work. But
This is the closest thing we'll get to it.
maybe.
Whoa. It just bursts with flavor right away. Reminds me of asparagus, though, yeah.
I think if anything, it just shows like how different teas can be completely different. Most people think of tea, they say, do you like tea? And they have some idea of what that is in their head, and they think that tea is only this.
But it's not.
It is, as you've seen just from the 4 or 5 teas that we brew, different colors, different tastes, different everything. So there's a tea out there for everyone.
True.
Yeah.
Great. I think that was a great tea testing together.
Yeah. This was fun. Thanks for having me.
Of course. It was a pleasure. Thank you, Mike.